Hello, welcome to the Connect 0007 experience. Here, we come to the podcast where human connection is everything. If you're trying to connect better with those around you, you're in the right spot. So please, sit back, relax, open your mind, and enjoy the experience. Hello, everybody. I am Thaddeus Sims, the host of this amazing podcast. And today's episode is going to be the 54th episode called Relationship Refresher. This is going to be very interesting. It's going to require a lot out of you. So, before we dive into this episode, let me actually share an announcement with you guys. It has been a while. The announcement is this. I really want to start connecting with you all more. I just feel as though, I make the podcast, but I don't really get to chat with you guys like, hey, what do you think? Or what happened? What are your thoughts on this? So I'm going to do a live video this Sunday, July 21st at 4 p.m. EST, so Eastern Standard Time. And it's just a really good way for us to just connect, and you guys can ask questions and things like that. Low key, I'm pretty sure I may be eating, and that's okay. We're going to still make this happen. So by all means, guys, wherever you are at, put it on there. I'm going to be on live on Instagram at 4 p.m. EST this Sunday coming up. That is July 21st. I'm super excited for this. So bring some questions, guys. And we are totally going to just connect. And yes, that is the announcement. Going into the fun fact now. This fun fact is pretty interesting. When I first heard this, I figured, I'm not going to lie. I did swallow a few times, like my spit. And I was just like, this is interesting. You're probably wondering, what do you mean, Thaddeus? You swallow your spit? Well, I'm about to explain that to you right now. You may swallow your spit a little bit too when you hear this. And some of you are probably like, oh God, here we go. Yes, here we go. Fun fact, during your lifetime, you will produce enough saliva to fill 2 swimming pools. See why I started swallowing? Does your throat not feel a little bit different? Does your throat feel like it has more attention than it normally does, or your tongue? If so, prepare, there's more. An average human produces between 1 to 2 liters of saliva each day, which is a maximum of 730 liters per year. Now, the average life expectancy is just over 70 years, which gives a minimum of 51,100 liters of saliva produced in an average lifetime. So this is more than enough to fill 2 swimming pools. And I'm not going to lie, I've had thoughts, jumping into that. Not myself, but throwing something into there. There's other thoughts I had with that, but I'm not going to go there with you guys. I'm going to let you try to have a decent grand rising, or a good morning, however you want to do it. So let us really dive into this podcast. Basically, like I said, it's a relationship refresher. It could be a relationship, a friendship, any ship with a friend or a person or a family member. And basically, it's just ways to refresh it. Now, I would like to say the 3 points in this that are very important is that you want to do this with those who you are close with, you trust, and that you really care for. I'm going to say this again. Those you are close with, you trust, and you really care for. Let's be honest. A lot of us don't care for a lot of people. We care for a few people here and there. We care for a group over there, but not a lot of people. It's okay. We're human. Let's just keep it real. Now, a great way to do this is with questions. Now, if you remember what I said earlier, this is going to require a lot out of you. Why? Is because it is going to require total and complete authenticity. Authenticity requires so much from people. And once you get there, it can be easy. But some people may struggle with that. And you're going to see why I say this is going to take a lot of authenticity with you. Now, just to give you a little background with this is I usually do this with a few friends out, depending on the year, depending on some time. I usually do this with a few friends and I ask a question or two. I'm going to actually give you all 7 questions. You'll see. But it's a really good question, really good questions to ask. And I did this with 2 friends. I did not ask them if I could share their information on here, but I will do my best. Guys, I'm really just having a moment here. I should probably ask them, hey, is it okay if I ask your name? Because I'm going to use you as an example anyways. I should do that. I've been saying that I don't ask these people their names, but I just think of them off the bat. I'll do better, guys. But let us dive into some of the questions to ask your friends that you are close with. Remember, authenticity is needed. The first question really is more of a suggestion, and it basically states, review the relationship so far. So what you want to do with them is just share with them what's happened from when you both met to where you are now, and vice versa. Or when you both had your last relationship refresher to where you are now. And again, the vice versa. So an example with that would be, hey, since we've met, this is kind of how you've been, and you've been growing in this area. I noticed before, it took some time for you to trust. And what I've discovered is this, that, and the other to where we are now. You share that part of the relationship, then they share, their perspective on the relationship. It's a good starting ground. The second, which is really the first question, is our growth. And what you want to do, I'm going to have to share this in an example way because when I say it in words, it does sound weird. What you'd want to do is just share with the individual. So I'm going to give a name here. We're going to say James. So me and James are having a conversation and our question is growth. I will say, hey, James, this is what I feel that I have grown in personally in my life. Awareness, communication, and really just being authentic. Now, that's what I feel that I have grown. As someone I'm very close with, James, what is it that you see that I have grown in? James may say, I feel as though you have definitely grown in communication as well. I definitely feel you have grown in trust. I definitely have noticed that you've just grown overall in the way that you carry yourself. Now, that was my part. And then I say, James, your go. What is it that you feel that you've grown in? James will say, I've grown, Thaddeus, in my area of emotional maturity. I've grown in my areas of knowledge, wisdom, and just respecting myself more. What do you think, Thaddeus? What do you think I have grown in? And I would say I've noticed that you've grown, James, in how you handle people, how before you were not as friendly with people. I've noticed you've definitely changed that around. I've also noticed as well that your understanding has grown significantly because before you weren't there, but now you are. And that's just a few things. Now, these are questions you just want to ask them. Basically, this is let them know this is what you've grown in. And you ask the other person, what is it that you think I've grown in? This is good because it really allows you to see where the other person, so James, here we go. It allows me to see where James is focused at. This is what James notices in his world that he's focusing on, and this is what he's growing in. Because a lot of us are so focused in our own worlds and doing our own thing that we don't really notice all of the other things. So it's good for someone who is not us to have an outside perspective and view with what we're doing. And so you would be able to see that with them. And then you would also be able to tell them, this is what I'm seeing as well with the growth. Now, they told you what they've grown in, and now hearing what you've seen that they've grown in, it adds more awareness. It also adds a sense of, wow, I did not know this, that I was doing this as well. It allows you to give that person pretty much good stuff that they need to hear as well, because a lot of us may not be aware of the things that we're really doing good. We're so used to a lot of people telling us, oh, you need to work on this, you need to work on that, maybe you can be better than that. And if it's not other people, it's ourselves. We're probably saying, man, I need to do this, I need to do that. So hearing it from someone that you are close with, that you love and you respect, telling you, hey, this is what I'm noticing as well, you're growing in here, is really good. It also really just shows that person that you're noticing the actions that they're doing as well. So overall, this is really good, right? Again, authenticity. Now, if you say, okay, Thaddeus, that wasn't bad, that maybe not as much. Let's test your authenticity with the next question, which is the third. What can we do to be better? Now, some people, they come into this and they're like, okay, yeah, what can I do to be better? But I would also second that you come in with the perspective of, if the person does suggest a lot or a few things that they feel that you can do better in regarding the relationship or friendship that you have, don't take it in a sense of, oh, wow, so that means I haven't done nothing, or I haven't really done this as good. Take it as an avenue that you can deeper your relationship. What I mean by that, if I feel that I have been doing my best to be better for an individual and they suggest, well, you can do better in just taking more time for me. And I may feel, but I have been doing that. So you can see right there, a lot of people that can go left. And it takes a mindset to understand this is an avenue that you can take to go further. So if I felt as though I have done that, I would like to ask my friend James, okay, James, like, what do you mean by that specifically? And James may be just super clear and just say, hey, I notice sometimes that when we have a conversation, there's always someone in the background talking to you. So I would just appreciate, if you could take just a few minutes and there's no background noise and it's just like focused time to what I have to say to you. And I may think, oh, wow, I did not think of that. That is true. There is always someone in my background. Let me do that. Let me actually take some time and give that to you, because if this person is talking to me, that time that I have on the phone with you, I'm giving it to that person as well. And it's not fair to you. So there's a mindset with that, guys. Take it as an avenue to go deeper with the relationship, and don't have the mindset of, oh, wow, so that means I've been sucking or I haven't been doing anything. No, that's not the case. So that's a different mindset here, and vice versa. You'd ask them that question and they'd ask you that as well. This is good because now you get a very clear objective. You get a very clear avenue that you can do to be better with that individual. And it's awesome, guys. I'm telling you, when you have clarity on this, it's just amazing. The fourth question is, how can we support each other and each other's dream? Now, I asked this question to my friend James, and basically he suggested I didn't really have anything to add. He just said continuation. So continue what I'm doing. And he asked me the same thing. And one of the things he suggested, he said, when I make some music, basically, or you can re-listen to his old music. And he said, listen to it with intent. Instead of just like a regular song on the radio station, he was like really listen to the mysteries and the things that I'm saying in there. Reason why he says that is because that is his thing. That's his baby. Music is like his love. He puts his everything in there. So it's good for me to know, okay, I can listen to your music and I can say, hey, I reheard your song and this is what I got from it. Is this what it is? And it shows that I'm supporting him in his dream, and I'm actually getting something. I'm actually understanding James more than I normally would have. Just by having a conversation, I'm seeing this avenue of James when he's like rapping and doing his stuff. So this is really good. Now, this is really awesome, you guys, for when you have those friends that you're very close with, because you'd be very surprised that if they were to tell you something that was very simple for you to do to support them, it would make things so much easier, because you've heard it here and there where people say, I have some of my friends, but they don't support me like I want them, so I don't really deal with them like that. But you'd be very surprised that if you were very clear with how you want them to support you, would make things super simple. And communication is key here. This is really important. Communication is key. So when you have these important conversations, it makes things so much easier, because a lot of us feel like our friends should know this or they should know that, and they may not. So it's very good to just communicate these things, show support, and just each other. And that was just with the dream as well. And another thing is just with supporting each other. Like, is there making more time for you? Do you feel as though I need to compliment you more? Or do you feel as though there's some, any little thing, guys? And when you're just very clear and you're authentic and you're willing to share this with them, it will be easier. I'm going to say authentic again, because a lot of us don't want to say things that may possibly hurt the other's feelings. And I say that because I'm really talking to myself as well, because we'll say that my friend James put me in a position where I couldn't get out of, where he said, you always say positive things about me, but I need to hear the negative things as well. And that really hurt me. I was like, dude, I can't do that. Like that I don't focus on those things. So I really had to focus and look at those things and share that. And it hurt me, and I didn't want to say that, but he asked me to, and it turned out very well. And so sometimes, guys, when our friends are asking us very authentic questions, we may not say it to the degree that we want, because it may hurt them. And it is also good if this will help you, would be to just say that, like, say that it's hard for you. I say this all the time with my friend James, like, dude, I'm gonna be very blunt. I want to say X, Y, and Z, but I feel as though if I do this, this will make you go here, or you'll think this, and I don't want you to do that, and I don't want to be the cause of that. So this is why I don't do this. But, and I always repeat myself when I'm with James, and I would say, I feel as though I'm repeating myself. So the ball's in your court. What are your thoughts? And we just talk, and we just say it like it is. So don't be afraid, guys, to really be authentic and very open as well. The fifth question is, what did we do great in or great on? And with James, basically, it was just his communication, how he was very specific with how he was feeling, with his emotions and stuff like that. Because as a male, it is very hard for us to communicate how we emotionally feel, God forbid, to another male, and or, our girls and anything like that. It can be very hard. So when someone improves on that, bring that up. And he said as well, for me, believe it was that as well, my communication and whatnot. And I told him it was also the authenticity. I was able to become, he was actually a very important factor in me being very authentic with very important things that I held very close to me that I didn't really share with other people, because a lot of people I felt were not on that level with me yet for me to even begin to share that with them. And I've tested it, and it's always proved myself right. And with this individual, I felt, wow, he'd actually understand this. And because of that, I've been able to share, hey, this is exactly what is going on with me on this level. And we got it. And because of that, it has helped me become more authentic with other people and learn how to communicate something that I may feel is so difficult in a way that they'd understand. And that is what I told him that he did great on by helping me. And so it's very good, guys, to just let each other know, hey, this is what you did great in the relationship so far. The sixth question is, where do you see us going forward from here? I say to ask this question because it's very good to really get insight into where your friend, family member, spouse, partner sees the relationship going. And it's just really cool to see that. And when you share your insight and you guys are in sync, it just makes everything so much easier. So what was cool with my friendship with James is that James and me, we see success. We see helping a lot of people. We see certain people at our table. We see great-minded individuals and us having awesome conversations while doing the action and making things a better place. And we both may have said it a little bit differently, but it all comes back together. And so it's really cool that we're really in sync with where we see the friendship going, because a lot of us may say, oh, when we get married, you're gonna be my best man, you're gonna be my bridesmaid, all that stuff like that. I want you to do here, I want you to do there. And sometimes I don't really go. Sometimes it really does, but it's just really good to just see where the other person is seeing the relationship or friendship, partnership, whatever. So that's really good to ask. The last question, this is going to shift some gears here, but I feel it's very important. The seventh question is basically, what do we do when someone else or a group of people try to pull us apart? And that question came as we were talking. I didn't plan that. And I wanted to bring that question up because when people are really good friends and they're doing great things, sometimes we get tested. And one of those common tests that I've seen is when someone says he say, she say stuff, and it could possibly ruin the relationship or make it much better. Your chances of it being much better is being prepared for it. And so I asked James this question, and we both said the same thing. James basically said, bring it. If someone says that I said this, that, and the fourth about you, tell me what they said. Tell me this, that, and the other. And I will tell you if that is true or not. And I ask that you just have faith and that you know who I am. You focus on who I am, knowing who I am, and have faith in what I tell you like it's true. And I said, of course. And I said now the same thing, but to add, I said, but this is the thing that I need you to do, James. If someone says this, that, and the fourth or whatever, that I have said something about you, I need you to do two things. The very first thing is I need you to pull me to the side. Whatever I'm doing, whoever I'm talking with, I need you to pull me to the side. The second thing, James, is that I need you to set the tone or set the energy or somewhat to let me know, hey, I need to talk with you. This is serious. Because knowing myself, if you just say, hey, whenever you get a minute, can we talk? In my mind, I'm going to register, okay, that is not that important at the moment, so it can kind of wait, but I'm going to remember that we do need to talk. So sometime after this event, when I get a few minutes to talk, I will get that. But if you tell me and you have a serious tone with it or a serious vibe that this is important, I know, okay, that means that whatever I'm doing, I need to cut it short or say, hey, guys, I will be back because this is very important. This is the warning. This is okay. That registers for me that, okay, let's talk right now, because you wouldn't normally do this. For one, to pull me to the side, and two, to have the serious tone. You don't normally do this. So this really is something. And that way we can go about this. And so I'll know, hey, he'll say, this is what was said, blah, 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 blah. And I will tell him, oh, I did not say, well, no, whatever the situation is, I didn't say that. And if I did say something similar or whatever, or whoever the person may say, you know, being honest, like, hey, yeah, well, someone said that, that you said that my hair looked different. And I will say, oh, well, yeah, I did, but not in the context that they mean it in or meant it in. So let's go talk with this individual so we can nip this so this doesn't go any further. And it's good to just communicate. We'll have a whole process of how we do that. But that is a very good question that you'd want to ask someone you care for, because that happens. And when we're not prepared for it, it could go very south. But when you are prepared for it, guys, and you have plans like in motion for this, for when this happened, you are prepared. It puts you ahead of the game. It makes you unbreakable and things like that. It also puts you in a place of being in a power of being an example. So you have that example. And I say power because it's just like when you're doing something great, people notice that power that you have to be an example of, if this stuff happens, how to handle it. So you have that power to really shake things up with other people. They may say, wow, normally I would have snapped or I would have said something, but they actually handled that really well. So that's really good. And really, guys, that is really the 7 questions. You do not have to use all of these. You can use 1 or 2 of these. Heck, you can even change them up. But it's very good to ask these questions with those you're very close with and you care for, just so it can just freshen things up, because we all change, we all grow, we learn different things, we have different experiences. And sometimes we come to a point in certain friendships and relationships where things get kind of flat. It's not really growing. There's not really any challenges going on. And it's really a good time to implement, okay, hey, we need to refresh the relationship. Just cause, you know, we're in a different phase in our lives. We're in a different area. We've gotten older and stuff like that. So when those moments where it's just been a few years and, you know, if there hasn't been any growth, like I said, you feel like, oh, this is a good refresher, do it. Some of us guys, we may naturally do this. And you may not even really need to do this. You may do this all the time and it may not know. And what I mean by this is that you may have these conversations on a regular with close friends of yours and saying, hey, man, how can I do this for you? How can I be better? Basically, it is the iron sharpening the iron. It is the actions that you are doing and the questions that you are having with these friends. So again, you may have already been doing this. And if so, congrats. You are awesome. You're doing your thing. With that being said, guys, that is the end of this episode. Again, let us connect on live this Sunday at 4 p.m. EST. And let's just connect, guys. Let's just connect. So with that being said, I will talk with you all very soon. You have a fantastic rest of your weekend. And I hope all of your dreams and all the things that you're working for literally just comes to you. Really. You deserve it. You've been working hard. So that being said, I will talk to you later, guys. Later. Thank you for listening to today's episode. Please leave a 5-star rating and share with a friend near you. Remember, the world's a better place because you exist. Know your worth and know thyself.